Good morning, everybody. My name's Jackie Cuthbert. I'm Head of Social Impact at Sunbelt Rentals, and I just wanted to take a few minutes today just to help put into context how all of this fantastic work around sustainability and net zero not only is obviously going to help address the climate change, but is also really commercially important as well to all organisations up and down the supply chain. So I'll just move through the slides. So just in case any of you are wondering who we are, we used to be known as A-Plant in the market, and we unified the business back in June 2020. We're part of Ashtead Group, and we're absolutely committed to being the leaders in rental in the future, and a lot of that is around the green journey. We've made massive commitments in terms of the size of the fleet, and I think we're going to be looking at £500 million worth of fleet that is the most sustainable in the future. And obviously part of that journey means that we're really collaborative and open to working with people, whether it's research institutions, whether it's supply chain partners, whether it's customers, whether it's peers in the industry as well, about trying to get us to that next step for ultimately being able to change the carbon output for this country. So there's some stats and bits and pieces on there. I don't want to dwell on those, but I just wanted to focus in on the fact that in terms of our values, in terms of the responsible value, this is absolutely key and pivotal to every single conversation we're having at the minute with all of our customers. We have got about 20 different businesses that came together under the unification process, but that's given us a really unique insight into how the whole site setups can occur. So recently we supported the Foreign Office and all of the government teams that were supporting the COP26 project up in Glasgow. So we had 14 connected sites, security and transport hubs with secure networks, and they were all the very lowest carbon possible. We've just released our case study to do that with all of the signed off stats around the carbon savings. But importantly today, I just wanted you to have an insight into how the social value that is connected with that, what the background to that is, how we can calculate it, and how ultimately being able to extract the data around the telemetry, so things like JCB LiveLink, can actually help customers be able to help win work and make sure that the more progressive companies are actually doing the works of the future and obviously doing the best for the environment. So that takes me on to the Social Value Act, which was 2012. Over the last couple of years, it's had a few iterations, and it's becoming more into the sort of you shall do this, you shall be there will be penalties if you don't deliver against it. And you'll maybe hear the words PPNO 620 and PPNO 621. So just to pull that into context for everybody, PPNO 620, so it was in June 2020 effectively, that was the moment that government contracts were obliged to look at social value that's in the contract, not just price, not just quality, but also the social value and how companies are going to give back and help address the climate emergency and also a lot of social issues around that. And if we think as well laterally around this, we all need skilled people that understand this arena. We need to be able to have, from a personal point of view, from a JCB point of view, there's a whole massive skills gap out there for around how we look after electric vehicles, electric technology and greener renewables. And there's, we can put people who are interested in touch with some of our partners at places like City of Wolverhampton College, where they've just launched one of the first battery and technology colleges. We've also just last week announced a strategic partnership with British Volt up in Blythe, building the gigafactories. So again, over the coming period, there's going to be some amazing stories and amazing opportunities for us all to be able to collaborate and test things out in this area as this whole story evolves. PPNO 621, so a year later, was an update to the government legislation, and this specifically mentions carbon reduction in the procurement of major government contracts. So I won't bore you to death with that, but if you have a look online for PPNO 621, it'll give you all of the elements which are all ultimately achieving, UK PLC being able to achieve that net zero by 2050. So there's tons online, but from a day-to-day element for companies such as ourselves or research organisations. Can't move this on. There we go. Sorry, just jump in there. So, a lot of companies and organisations in the UK have got a sustainability strategy. Lots of people are publicly saying they're going for net zero. Some people are being very ambitious by 2025, 2030, 2050, wherever people are comfortable on that journey. But everybody's evolving this journey together, and obviously we get to see a lot of organisations and how people are approaching it, and it really is an evolving feast. So one of my key messages is if people don't understand things about this, the odds are quite a lot of other people don't as well. Everyone's feeling tout, but collaboration is king here, and I think we can really make a massive difference by working together. So yeah, so it all falls on with the sort of ESG agenda that you'll hear talked about, which is environment, social and governance. And this is what investors are looking for in technology companies, in support services companies, in manufacturers, to be able to say that these companies are responsible and going to be around in the future, delivering on the, you know, the legislation and the climatic requirements for ourselves. So my job as head of social value is to work with our key accounts, with our wider stakeholders, so government organisations and regional stakeholders and all sorts of people, around how we can make this happen, because it's only by working together that this is going to actually happen. We need that, you know, people's collective efforts coming together to make some of these changes. So the Social Value Portal, every company in the whole of the UK can use this. It's a UK framework whereby people can find out what we call proxy values around social value, like, over an entire spectrum of different measures that can help make the UK a better place to live and work. But the ones that are most pertinent for today I wanted to draw your attention to are called our National TOMs number 31 and National TOMs 53. So for everybody who can help a customer be able to save carbon emissions, and the crucial bit is around evidence in it, so it's around the data reporting and how we make that into easily accessible information. You know, we can claim it's monopoly money, but £69.35 per tonne of carbon emissions. So if you've got a product or a service, or you were thinking about this, there's now a monetary value that people can attach in their tenders to help demonstrate the good works that they're doing and how they can take that to market. So again, any queries around any of this, come and find me afterwards or get in touch after. I'd love to help you out. And again, around that whole area of social innovation, and specifically you'll notice there is around addressing the needs of the climate emergency. Every pound that gets put in to a research project, a trial, or whatever it might be, you can claim that as social value, which you can then put against your company's name. So there's some really exciting potential there. And again, because it's starting to quantify it a little bit, it maybe will help people who are less inclined to get involved because they think it's a bit fluffy. It actually has commercial benefits to it now. And we're seeing tenders coming through at the moment whereby this is becoming up to 30% of the value of a major government contract. So you can imagine, you know, it will really help companies. The people who get on board with this will be winning work into the future, and so now's the time to all collaborate, really. So just to give you a couple of examples from a clean energy solution point of view, if we use things like, you know, a typical site setup, we can apply different elements along the way to help that greener journey come along. So using stage 5 generators, the battery storage units, intelligent solutions around, say, energy management systems, and, you know, the ultimate is coupling that all together with HVO fuel. We know that we've got major contractors in the room that have been able to see results in the region of 80 to 90% carbon reduction on full sites. You know, these are massive projects happening every day now. So if anyone wants to come along to those sites and come and see them, touch, feel them, and, you know, tire kick and ask the daft questions, we'd be more than happy to set that up. But all of that telemetry, all of the data that we can pull out of systems like LiveLink that show the fuel efficiencies and you know, the alternative ways that people are using the kit more responsibly on site, that means we can translate that into social value for you, and you can pop that into tenders or your marketing materials or your information. This, I think Glyn and Matt spoke quite at length last time around the connected sites and the whole Internet of Things. Obviously, this is pivotal to all the data talking to each other and being able to pull that full kind of view so people can take those holistic decisions across what's going on. We've got a whole team that's dedicated to this at Sunbelt Rentals. Again, we can point you in the right direction, partner you up, have a chat with anybody at all. So we're here to make sure that we're a big part of this future journey. So thank you for your attention and hope to speak to some of you soon.